178,000 people a year are having weight loss surgery, but is it really the miracle cure they thought it would be? Our next guests both chose gastric bypass surgery to lose weight, but these women had two very different outcomes. Lauren Waters was 18 years old and weighed 310 pounds, and she decided to have gastric bypass surgery. She's since lost 180 pounds and has managed to keep it off. Susan Nicholson weighed 360 pounds and she had the surgery. She lost 200 pounds but has gained almost half of the weight back. Please give a warm welcome to Lauren Waters and Susan Nicholson to the show. Ladies, we're really glad you're here. A lot of people are talking about the surgery. Lauren, I want to start with you. You were 310 pounds, as I just said, before the surgery. Going back in time, when you think about it, what do you think got you to that weight?
At age 6 months, my mom was told to start cutting back on formula for me. I was always a heavy child, and growing up, and I guess when I got older, you know, feeding yourself, driving yourself to fast food restaurants, that kind of thing.
So it's genetic,
Yeah, my grandparents on my mother's side were both overweight, and her parents, but I mean, if you look at my family, they're all tiny, so it's kind of hard.
You were the only one.
Yeah. Growing up, my sister was 5'7" and a size 2, so...
Okay.
Well, that
made it difficult.
Yeah. To grow up with that.
And then, were you trying diet programs leading right up to the surgery that just weren't working for you?
We had tried everything. I went to my first Weight Watchers meeting when I was 13, and I had actually... Every time we'd try a diet, I'd lose some and then gain the weight back. We even did hypnotism when I was a sophomore in high school, and that...
So you had exhausted like pretty much all possibilities. Did someone suggest gastric bypass to you, or did you happen upon the information yourself?
I had been researching it online privately. I hadn't told my parents that I was thinking about it, and when I actually came to them and told them, you know, I think I want to do this, I want to look into like insurance and stuff, they were, okay, this is your decision, because we didn't want to, because my parents had actually been researching it too, and
without you knowing.
Without me knowing, because they did not ever want to suggest it. They wanted it to be completely me, my decision, and it was. They never pressured me. They've been nothing but supportive.
Were you 18 at the time of the surgery?
At the time of surgery, I was 18.
Okay. Do you think parents should encourage their kids when they have this problem to get that surgery if they really need it? Or do you think they should mind their business and let the child come to it?
I think it definitely has to be the child's decision. I mean, my parents gave me plenty of options. Like I said, we tried everything, and my parents were always supportive. My mom would go to the Weight Watchers meetings with me. I mean, they'd drive me everywhere and do everything for me. It's just...
It needed to come from you.
They were with you in this process, and I know there's a lot, after the surgery to do as well. How is your diet different now than it was then? Like, what things have you just completely cut out, or what changes have you made?
With the gastric bypass, your stomach physically changes. I mean, there's certain things you can't eat. I can only drink skim milk, because I guess a lot of people do become lactose intolerant after surgery, because a lot of the part of your stomach that produces lactic acid is in the lower part, which they cut away. So, I mean, like, I have more than 2 bites of ice cream, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't feel good.
You feel a difference in your body. Susan, did you feel that way as well after the surgery?
Definitely.
Now, when you had your surgery, you came down 200 pounds and then gained 80 back.
Yes.
Now, how did you get to, the 200 came off, did it come off quickly after the surgery?
I started out at 360 pounds, and I lost 200 pounds in about 15 months.
Oh.
So that's quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. In the beginning, both of you, there's a little vomiting involved in the beginning, right? If you eat too much or something.
Right.
What's the downside of that in the beginning, just for people to know?
Basically, one of the biggest things is dumping syndrome. If you have too much fat in your diet or too much sugar in your diet, you almost feel like you're going to die. You have sweat, you shake.
Your body rejects it,
yeah,
in other words.
basically things can get stuck, and basically nausea and vomiting.
So the key then is to not to overeat, so that you sort of train yourself not to get sick.
Yeah, you have to moderate everything you put in your mouth, and everybody's different, so you have to figure out what's right for you.
Trial and error of what you can eat and what you can't eat.
You find out the hard way.
I mean, I can't eat broccoli anymore.
Right.
It just doesn't sit well with me.
But you didn't know it until you had it again.
Didn't know it until I was like, oh, my stomach hurts, and then I ate broccoli again.
Susan, with the 80 pounds that you put on since losing the 200, do you think, you have 3 children, do you think that was the reason why? I know it's harder and harder, after each child to lose the weight after you give birth. Do you think that was the reason why?
That is how I put the weight back on. I had 3 children in 3.5 years, and I never gave myself a chance to
lose
You
the
were
baby
busy.
weight.
Yeah. But I never had the chance to lose the baby weight from each child before I was pregnant again. And then when the third child came, I had a little bit of postpartum depression, and all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I've gained 80 pounds.
Right. Do you worry that you'll gain the rest back? Is that something that concerns you?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I got to a point 3 weeks ago right after Christmas, and I looked in the mirror and I said, there is no way I'm going back to 360 pounds again. I have to gain control, and I had to look at my life and figure out, you know, what was I doing now that is different from then, and how can I go back to get it back off?
So what will you do now?
I think one of the biggest things for me was I was an at-home mom, and I'm not one of those people, you know, I can't just go to the gym and, you know, take care of my kids, and I had to find the time for me, so I decided a career change is something I need. I'm back in school, and, you know, it's kind of funny, but my teacher, Tom, cracks me up every day, and that has a lot to do with it, and I decided, I found this website called Living After Weight Loss Surgery, and got on there, talked to people who are just like me, who have gained the weight back, probably due to pregnancy, some different issues.
You guys can chat back and forth?
We have a forum, we chat back and forth, and the owner of the site, Kay, had developed a 5-day pouch test, and 3 weeks ago, basically all the 5-day pouch test does is take you to eating like you were right after you had the surgery, which is all liquids for a few days, and then like you have to blend your food up and have soft protein.
It is
work.
It's
You know, exercise, following the rules, basically.
Following the rules.
Are you worried that you're going to gain it back when you hear stories like this?
As of right now, I have trouble keeping weight on. I mean, if I don't concentrate on eating every meal, cause when I'm with my fiance, for instance, I mean, he's an Army boy and he eats like 2 meals at once, and I have to eat like 4 or 5 times a day just to keep the weight on, and so I'll lose weight drastically if I spend a weekend with him.
I think it's interesting to hear, you know, the 2 different outcomes from this surgery. Joining us in our audience today to answer some more of our questions is Dr. Garth Davis, a bariatric surgeon featured on the TLC show Big Medicine. Dr. Davis, if you could just quickly describe for us, and a lot of people wonder if this surgery is the cure-all. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely tell all our patients the surgery is not the cure-all. The surgery is a tool, and it's only a tool. It's very common to gain back weight a little bit later on in life, but the tool's still there. What we do in a gastric bypass is we create a small, tiny stomach at the top, and we bypass a piece of intestine up to that small, tiny stomach. And because the stomach's smaller, you eat less, but there are some important hormonal things that happen. And because of the surgery, a certain hormone that people that are obese, that makes them hungry, that goes away. But there's other reasons you eat. It's not just because of the hormones. You eat when you're stressed. You eat when you're depressed. When you come through our program, you see a psychologist. We have support groups regularly. We have dietitians. We have an exercise therapist. And we really look at this as just a tool and all these different factors and different people coming to make that tool successful.
I think that's important, not just dealing with the pounds, but dealing with the person. Thank you so much. It's really great to hear both of your stories. Thank you so much. We want to give a big thanks to Dr. Garth Davis, Lauren, and Susan for sharing their stories with us. Big Medicine airs Wednesday nights on TLC. When we come back, find out how to lose that baby weight. Yes, we're going to check it out. Stay with us.